Floor is yours.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Burn It Down NASCAR podcast. We're sorry. Life got in the way and we missed a week. But we had a good time. We did some good family things. But we're back. So we're not going to cover much about Las Vegas. We all know Joey Logano won it. And Ross Chastain was second. The big story, obviously, is Larson, Bubba, and Bell finished dead last because of Bubba. And we'll get into that in a little bit, but let's move on to Homestead, where Mr. Kyle Larson had the biggest show of dominance, in my opinion, that we've seen from any driver all year long.
I think he had a reality check after getting knocked out. We had a reality check and came out and ground and pounded and took out the field pretty much.
Stage 1, 2, and the race, and it wasn't even close. The only driver that could even try to keep up with him all day long was Ross Chastain.
Well, Martin Truex too, until he got spun out on.
He got turned around,
and everybody was pissed off at Kyle, and Kyle did nothing wrong. And people are all, it's a Kyle Hendricks. No, Martin Truex slowed down, hit the brakes. You can see it on the tires, and Kyle was just right on his ass because he's keeping pit road and spun him. I'm glad no one got hurt because it was right in his pit box, but that took him out of the race.
Well, what killed me is all over the social media platforms, everyone was, Kyle Hendricks, blah, blah, this dirty. It's like, dude, the guy came on camera right after the race and said, I missed my box. I couldn't see it because of the sun glare, and I did slow down abruptly and didn't get out of the lane.
Yeah.
But anyway, congratulations to Kyle Larson. We'll see how he does next week with Bubba in the race.
I think Bubba's going to steer clear because I think that's a touchy subject for him for once.
Well, yeah, and again, we'll get into that after we recap. I want to give a huge shout out, number one, to Ross Chastain. That's 2 second place finishes in a row. And AJ Allmendinger. What is that, 8 top 5s in the last 10 races? Something of that nature? That boy has been on a tear.
He needs to be a threat next year for sure. Get him in that car consistently. He's
going to be a contender. Austin Dillon was 4th. Round out your top 10. Keselowski, Truex, nice recovery. Hamlin, Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Daniel Suarez. I guess notables that didn't do well. I'm very, very worried about Chase Elliott.
Nah, he's fine. Martinsville's one of his best races. Unless Denny Hamlin takes him out like in previous years, but...
Blaney finishes 17th. Chase Elliott finishes 14th.
Unless Chase gets taken out of Martinsville, he's in.
There's no reason for anybody to take him out. This is the race that I kind of look for Hamlin to take out Chastain.
In past years, Chase has always been in front, and Denny's always been behind him, and Denny has always, not always, but usually takes out people. And he came out this week. This one's always a rubbing around and hitting people in front of you because it's a cutoff and Martinsville. So expect Denny to be super aggressive. He already forewarned, kind of, about it.
If he does, I hope somebody gets even with him.
But I don't know if you see in the interview with Denny too, and they're talking about people being hurt and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, what needs to change? He says new leadership. New leadership is what he's calling. New leadership. So he's calling everybody up top of, presidents and whoever's running the show at NASCAR to get replaced.
Can't disagree. They're not listening to the fans. That is for sure. And I don't have a whole lot else to say on Homestead. I thought it was a really good race. I enjoyed it all the way through. It was really nice to see Kyle Larson just totally, and I mean totally, dominate that race.
I wish Valvoline would pick him up as a primary sponsor.
Wasn't that cool to see Valvoline on
He's
there?
had it a few times, him and William Byron over the years, from last year to this year. Kind of shared a duel on it, and it's such a cool car.
It is.
I wish they do more races. I'm sure obviously everybody's trying to be, touchy-feely around Kyle, but he's proven if you put your sponsor on the car, people are going to see it. It means money. You're not losing out. Oh, I wish they'd do more. That was a really cool car.
Oh, I loved it. I thought the scheme was fantastic. As long as we're on the Valvoline subject, there is one thing I want to say before we move on to the big thing, and then we've got some little itty bitty things. Is RFK Racing, Jack Roush, and Brad Keselowski are officially in my shit bucket, not list, shit bucket. Mark Martin drove the pace car out at Vegas. He also came out and drove, I believe it's the last car he won with. Not one single representative at all from the Roush team, the RFK, however you want to categorize it, showed up. Not a single one. It hurt Mark so bad he even tweeted about it.
Wow.
And I've never been that much of a Mark Martin fan. To me, he's kind of like Rusty Wallace and Dale Earnhardt. I wasn't big followers, but I was respectful of their ability. That was dirty. Why in the world would nobody show up for him to at least say, "Hey, man, thanks for the memories"?
Because they left. He left to go whoever else, and he went to Hendricks after a while.
Well, he raced the U.S. Army car, and I can't at this point even remember.
But I know he was in the 5. He was in the 5 Hendricks car too. So he left Roush. That's what it is. But Brad should have done something but
I just that was terrible on their part. To not even give a nod to him, a recognition, nothing. It blew my mind. And then they're turning around and doing a throwback car to Matt Kenseth this week. Well, he left too and went to JGR. So what's the difference?
He won a championship with him.
Well, it wasn't Mark's fault he didn't win a championship, believe me.
It was Jeff Gordon's. Or Dale Jarrett, whichever you want to call it. Mainly Jeff Gordon.
So, okay. Bubba Wallace. NASCAR's fate, huh?
I said I was going to be rude, but go ahead.
NASCAR's favorite boy. Period. The end. There's no two ways about it. The boy got treated with kid gloves. I'm going to just go ahead and I wrote a blog about it this week. I fought with people on several different social media pages about it. And ladies and gentlemen, this has nothing, and I repeat, nothing to do with his skin tone.
I knew you were going to say that too. People are going to come out and say that. It has nothing to do with it.
God, did I have fights with people this week or over the last 2 weeks? Nothing to do with that. He is the most untalented, ungifted
snob,
driver. Privileged.
Entitled.
There you go. I'm sorry.
Everybody thought Jeff Gordon was that. No, Gordon earned his shit and proved it. Kyle Larson earned his shit, got taken away, earned it back, proved it. First year back, won a championship and like 8 races.
It got taken away for a word in a game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, if you play any kind of online
video
games, that's not the worst thing you've ever heard in your life.
And he
was
wasn't.
It wrong? Yes, he shouldn't have said it.
He should have said it, but it wasn't in a racial way. It was more of, "Hey, what's up?" type of thing. And it wasn't. Obviously, the word.
Here's the facts, and I know we're a little late to the party on this, but we've got to get it out there. Number one, Larson never touched him.
Didn't even get close. It scared the little boy. Embarrassed Bubba.
He overreacted and hit the wall.
Yes.
They've got
Yes, Kyle went in hot. He caught it. And if it was probably any other driver besides maybe a Kyle Busch or maybe Chase Elliott, or even Kevin Harvick, nobody else probably would have caught that car and be able to turn it and not hit him. But he caught it, and there was at least a foot in between them. That's plenty of room. Yes, and it scared Bubba, and Bubba's got, oh shit, and he hit the wall, and then he got embarrassed.
He overreacted, and he hit the wall. Now, did Larson push him up there? Sure, he did.
Unintentionally.
But he didn't have to hit the wall, and like you said, Larson stayed off of him and gave him more than enough room. Bubba lost his cool. He came down full throttle, hooked Larson, turned him around.
Could have really hurt him.
At 170 mile an hour? Are you kidding me? He turned him with the driver's door going towards the wall.
He could have potentially, obviously, worst case, killed him. Worst case. But obviously, luckily with this car, he unscathed, walked out fine.
Christopher Bell gets caught up. His day is ended, and potentially his
season.
Yeah, chance for the championship. I mean, obviously, he's got a shot to win this weekend and at Martinsville and get in. But here comes the rub with me. He got out of the car on a hot track, walked across the hot track, ignoring NASCAR officials, ignoring them.
And safety officials, and NASCAR officials and safety officials.
Assaulted. Literally, you can't put this any other way. He assaulted another driver. He not only put hands on him, he pushed him into that car several times. Jagged, I can't say metal because it's carbon fiber or whatever.
It doesn't matter. It's sharp. What did I tell you? You were driving, I know, but what did I tell you? He is a piece of fucking shit. He is on my shit list. The crash obviously could have hurt him, but him pushing him into a damaged, wrecked car as hard as he did could have impaled him with something.
Oh, yeah. It could have hurt him bad. Not to mention he had his helmet off, so and Bubba's knocking him around. What if he had slipped on the grass and hit his head? On some part of that car.
I told you this. I know we had a personal conversation. We don't normally do this, but he visited up north this past week. And what did I tell you? I said, if I was Kyle Larson, I would have whipped back that helmet and slapped that piece of shit above the head. Push me twice, shame on me. Push me again, you're knocked out. But Kyle Larson kept his cool, and I think that's his previous experiences and whatever. He knew NASCAR was watching. He knew the world was watching, but not me. I would have knocked that piece of shit out. You pushed me once, twice, shame on me. You're done. I'm sorry.
Third or fourth time, you're going down.
I would have wailed back. Because he told him to stop multiple times. What are you doing? Stop. And you would have been laid out. I'm sorry. Helmet. No, I'm sorry, but Kyle,
I'd have knocked his ass out too. I'd have picked up anything. I'd have got the damn steering wheel and started wailing on him. But no, it doesn't end there. After that, he was pushing the NASCAR officials around that were trying to intervene.
Yeah,
and then to put the cherry on top, he refused to get in the ambulance and he walked across the infield, across the pit lane, behind pit wall, before they could get him to actually go.
And what did I tell you? If that was let's say if that was Kyle Busch, you know how much trouble he would have been in? They would have fined him, suspended him, point docked him. That
was the point of my blog, is he should have been suspended minimally. And I mean minimally. Look what they did to Kyle Larson for one word.
Yeah.
He should have been suspended minimally for the rest of the year.
Kyle Petty came out and even said that. He's been an average supporter of Bubba.
Yep. 100 points, driver. 100 points, owner.
This should have been an L3 infraction. I don't give a fuck.
Suspension of the crew chief. $100,000 point or $100,000 fine at least minimally. I agree with you. The L3, I could take it up to $250,000 for both him and the team. I would have. And again, people, this has nothing, and I can't emphasize enough, nothing to do with who he is. This is based purely on his actions and NASCAR's previous retribution to people that have done similar or like things. Like I said, Kyle Larson got kicked out for a year and got the privilege of taking NASCAR's diversity course for one word. No violence, not just a word. And it wasn't even meant really derogatorily. I remember back in the day at Indianapolis, Tony Stewart, a reporter was hounding him.
Punched him in
and
the
he
face.
kept telling this reporter, I am not in the mood. I don't want to talk. And so the reporter wouldn't, he didn't punch the reporter. He slapped down the camera onto the ground and broke it and then walked away. He never physically put hands, but for that, he got to take diversity class and had a hell of a fine. There's so many other examples of what NASCAR could have done, and they chose a one race, in their words, for intentionally wrecking a competitor. It's like, are you effing kidding me? And like I said, I went to war over the last 2 weeks with people on social media about this. And by the time it was over, well, not a single one of them had really an argument with me. They were all like, well, okay, I guess you're right. But it was like, God damn it. Because every one of them that came after me was accusing me of playing the race card. When I shot back at them, who's playing the race card? Is there anything in my blog, anything in my post on any of these feeds that has anything to do, even comes close to mentioning his ethnicity? This is on his performance, his actions.
They're the ones bringing it up.
Reaction.
They're the ones bringing it up.
They're the ones that bring it up.
Because you have a problem with the person and they're like, oh, it's because of this. No, it's because of his actions. I don't have a problem with the person. I have a problem with the actions of said person and the lack of discipline doled out based on history. So I just looked up the L3 penalty, and that includes 120 to 180 depending on points, and that's regular season points. Playoff points between 25 and 50. One or two crew members will be suspended for 6 races, and fines ranging between $250,000 to $500,000.
I think they should have thrown it all at him, all of it, and I wouldn't have minded seeing him set out half of next year too.
He's not leaving. He's, like you said, the baby boy.
Well, and you know, Kyle Petty, like you said, he's pretty much a rah-rah guy for the dude. He said rest of the year. I lost a lot of respect for Dale Jr. when he said he shouldn't have been suspended. He should have just had points and a fine. I'm like, really? Are you kidding me?
I think Jr. is trying to play the in-between.
Well,
everybody goes, you gotta realize Junior, regardless if he's a racer, broadcaster, everybody perks their ears up when Junior opinion comes. So he can't be too rude. He can't be too, I'm saying, so I understand, but I bet you behind closed doors, he's like, what a fucking idiot type thing, you know? Or, you know, he grew up, he likes the olden day stuff. Let him fight it out. Let it be done, you know? But, you know, I guess if Larson started fighting with it, and they just let him brawl it out, whatever. But the fact that he kept pushing and kept pushing, and what Bubba did, yeah. It's just, when Junior has an opinion, he can't be too lopsided unless it's completely fucking wrong. And this was, but he's trying to, I guess, I don't want to say neutral, but it is what it is.
He's got to keep his remarks tempered more because of his broadcasting career than anything else.
Well, that, and it is that, but also he has his podcast, which has, and that's like a media company. It's just not his podcast. There's all kinds of stuff that go with it. So he kind of doesn't want to taint, what I'm saying, where it'll trickle down and fuck shit up. So I understand, but everybody, he has to have an opinion because who he is. So he gave an opinion.
He should have the right opinion and not defer to political correctness or
I agree.
A fan base, a perceived fan base that is not there. That's the thing, is NASCAR acts like he's the poster child for this sport, and it's not true.
It blows my mind every time they have a NASCAR graphic, Bubba's faces in it. Like, fucking why? He's not a top 20 guy. He's not a top 20. He wins. Yes, granted, Kansas was good, but also that was Kurt Busch's car with Kurt Busch's stats from the previous race, which Kurt Busch won. So, yeah, he won with Kurt Busch's stuff. But he won, but it's not like he's a dominant Kyle Larson where he's winning multiple races. It just blows my mind. Why don't you put Justin Haley up there? It's the same person, right? It's the same caliber.
That's pretty much it.
So why is he on the graphics?
I will give him credit that he has improved this year. There's no denying that.
And it has improved because of Kurt Busch.
He's still not a top tier driver. He's not even close. He's not even close. He's a mid 20th to 25th place driver. And now, like I said,
he's 20th in points.
Yeah. Whatever. Even Joey Logano came out and he was hot. He's like, man, that could have killed him.
The more I go, I more like Joey. I hated him in the early days, but the more I go, I like Joey. He's starting to grow on me a lot.
He's becoming, he's over trying to fight his way for respect. He's got it.
Yeah, exactly. He used to ruffle everybody's feathers wrong, and the more he goes, the more he goes, is the more. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Kevin Harvick's always been a good, that guy, but yeah, Joey's, it's kind of like fine wine. Let it go longer, it gets better. And he has a legitimate chance of winning the championship this year. He is hot.
It wouldn't upset me. All right, let's get away. We've beat that one to death. Kurt Busch has
announced
that he's done. I know that's old news, but it was something I wanted to cover. And it's another little bit of I told you so. I saw this coming. Once Riddick made his deal, and then Kyle made his deal. And I'm sorry for Kurt, but I'm also glad for Kurt that he's taking his health seriously. And, this is something you and I have been talking about since probably July. And it's coming down exactly the way we said it was going to come down. With Riddick going over early, Kurt out.
If you just was, paying attention, you could see this is the way it was happening. Kyle Busch going, Kyle Reddick's in 24, and then Kurt hurt, and you just could, if you aligned it right, you kind of could tell this was what was happening.
And Kurt isn't.
It's just all official now.
Yeah, and he's not saying he won't race again. He's just saying he won't race full time. So, he could do some one-offs at some bucket list, I guess. Oh, Jimmy Johnson, Trackhouse Racing said no.
Really?
Yeah, we're not doing that with Jimmy Johnson. I got it. I'm sorry. As much of a Hendrick fan as I am, That made my heart happy when I saw that. When
Hendrick will put a
what's
fifth
his
car out there. Not a permanent car.
uh, we all know that John Hunter Nemechek was in the 45 with his name on the door. It
Which
lasted
isn't
about
normal.
15 laps.
Which isn't
Yeah, it lasted about 15 laps.
And he was running up
Um,
front too. He was doing really well.
he
Qualified
was
well.
doing well. He just lost it coming off of turn 4. Joe Gibbs Racing, they say they're not going to announce their official lineup until after this season is over.
Yeah.
I've read story after story after story.
There's no way it's not Ty, right?
I don't think there's any way that it's not Ty in the 18, but there is a lot of dissatisfaction at Joe Gibbs Racing.
Everybody jumping ship.
Yeah,
A lot of younger guys, and obviously Kyle Busch, but there's a lot of developmental guys jumping ship.
There's problems over there. I don't know whether it's Toyota. I don't know whether it's JGR, but you got Trevor Bayne. And I'll tell you what, I don't care what anybody says. That man deserves minimally a full-time ride in Xfinity. I think he has earned enough respect and has the ability and everything to do a cup ride. And for the life of me, I cannot figure out why. I mean, he had that 1 or 2 years at Roush Racing. And he won the Daytona 500, but that was with the Wood brothers. And then he got that year or two with Roush, and that's been it. And I don't get it other than his personal beliefs. I don't know if that has that much to do with it because, he's always wore his Christianity on his sleeve, but so do a lot of other guys. And I don't get that man. Put it to you this way. If somebody just landed about $35 million in my lap and said, go start a NASCAR Cup team, I'd buy the charter and I'd put Trevor Bayne in that car. I really would. I have so much respect for that guy. And every time he gets in that Xfinity car for Joe Gibbs, he does well. I mean, he's not a bottom feeder. But rumors are there's some serious problems over at JGR right now. And I don't know whether it's atmosphere, whether it's Toyota fading off into the distance. I don't, you had Dodge saying they were coming in. Now they're not. If some of those guys were counting on that, I don't know. But things are falling apart at Joe Gibbs Racing for whatever reason. I've got a big one here that I want to talk about, but I want to save that for last. And I don't even think you caught on to this one yet. But in the meantime, Cole Custer, he's got his appeal for that slowing incident at the Roval for whatever reason. It's been pushed back. Today is Wednesday in real time. I guess they're doing that tomorrow where they're actually doing the appeal. I don't know how he's going to win that. They've got the telemetry on his car.
Cole Custer?
Cole Custer. Who did I say? Briscoe?
Yes. Yeah.
I meant Cole Custer. But that is supposedly scheduled for tomorrow.
Segue to that, if you're done with that, is...
Yep.
Like I said, we talked a lot when you visited, but Gene Haas, Tony Stewart are not going at it, but Gene Haas wants to keep Cole for another year, give him another shot. Tony's like, no, he's had his shot. We got Ryan Preece. Let's give Ryan Preece. So who's going to win that fight? I don't know. So we'll find out when they announce their shit.
That's perfect segue, but I'm not ready for it yet because I got something
think you're
else.
talking about...
All right. Spire Motorsports they signed Ty Dillon, so they've got Corey LaJoy and Ty Dillon for next year, and I think that's a good.
And I you know what? I like Ty Gibbs' admiration of not doing the Austin Dillon thing and riding with, Grandpa for rides. He's doing his own thing with other drivers, other things. He could have let me be a third car for Richard Childress. He doesn't want that. And I think that's pretty cool of him.
I respect that as well. Luke Lambert is coming back to Cup Series. He's going with Noah Gragson to GMS Petty Motorsports to be his crew chief. He's leaving.
Oh, Junior's losing everybody, huh?
Yeah, he's leaving. Yep, he's leaving Junior Motorsports to go to GMS with Noah, which I think is fantastic. I mean, look at the job they've done this year.
If they can bring that 42 car to at least averaging top 10 or even top 12, that's a huge win for that car.
Well, listen to this. Luke Lambert, he's previously been a Cup Series crew chief for Richard Childress Racing in Roush Fenway. He worked with Jeff Burton's number 31 car on the Cup Series and as an engineer and a crew chief, and then became the crew chief for their number 2 car in the Nationwide Series driven by Elliott Sadler, followed by a second stint as a Cup Series crew chief on the number 31, later renumbered to the 8, driven by Burton, Ryan Newman, and Daniel Hemrick. He then moved to Roush Fenway Racing as a crew chief for the number 17 car, driven by Busher, and later the team's number 6 car, where he reunited with Newman from when Newman was at Childress, and then to JRM, Junior Motorsports, as a crew chief for Gregson in the number 9 car. This is his third trip.
Success travels with him, it sounds like.
It sounds like it. I mean, there isn't a slouch in the bunch other than you might say Daniel Hemrick was a middle of the roader. But I'm excited about this with Eric Jones and now Noah Gragson, and you're bringing in Luke Lambert. I think this is going to be like
it might be the Trackhouse type thing. You know how Trackhouse emerges
it's a complete rejuvenation of Petty Motorsports. I'm very, very excited about this. I mean, Eric Jones has already proved he can get her done with the right brakes. But you bring Luke Lambert into that organization, and not only is he going to help Noah in the 42 team, he's also going to be a big influence with that 43 team.
Organization.
All right. So, all right. Unless you have any other little tidbits, I've got another big one. At least it is to me, and I like it.
I know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
Tony Stewart. Now let's do a little background on this. Did you know that he was supposed to be the Grand Marshal at Homestead this weekend,
but
and was pulled at the last second?
Mm-hmm.
All right. They say that it is speculation, I should say, is because of his adverse comments over the last several weeks regarding yeah. This little story popped up today in the last, I want to say, 48 to 72 hours, and then there's been a few more trickle-ins. We've all heard the rumblings that Harvick might be done racing after next year's schedule is completed. Well, now, because Tony Stewart is got a new toy to play with, his NHR. Top Fuel Dragster. He's, in fact, this weekend races for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And word on the street and through many sources is that Tony's so irritated and pissed off with NASCAR, plus the fighting with Gene Haas over Ryan Preece, Cole Custer, all of that mess, and the fact that NASCAR took one of their former hugest stars and kicked him to the curb this past weekend, rumors are flying around that Kevin Harvick will take over controlling interest of Stewart-Haas Racing after the 2023 season. Harvick will, as they're saying, now we'll see. But Tony Stewart's pissed. And you know how Tony is when he's done with something, he's done. He don't care. He's got what they call FU money. He doesn't care. The rumor and the thoughts that I have seen, and I've seen it more than one time. I'm not saying multiple times, but I've seen it more than once. Is that Stewart will stay involved, put up with whatever he's got to put up with for next year, although be it from a distance. And Harvick will step in and buy out Tony on his interest in Stewart-Haas Racing and become team owner and stop driving.
I don't know if Delaney's gonna like that. That's why he sold the truck series team, because it was too much.
Well, him driving plus owning the truck team was too much, but now he gets to...
If he stops driving, I can see it, but I know when they switched to Ford, he didn't like it, so are they gonna stay on Ford? And because he's a Chevy guy through and through, kind of like Tony was, but I don't know. It's not far. It's not far fetched. Not like a random thing.
And I'm the kind of person that had I seen something once somewhere, I'm probably not going to put a whole lot of stock on it. But I saw that more than once. Again, it's not like it was blasted all over the news or anything like that. I saw it more than just once. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, there might be something to this. And in a way, it makes sense for Harvick to kind of ride off into the sunset and still keep his hands in sport. I mean,
he wants to stay around and give his son.
Okay, and he's kicking ass too out there. If you've seen some, I'm not
Keelan, yeah.
Yeah,
Keelan. So he wants to stick around, kind of like, I don't think he wants to stick around racing like Kyle Busch wants to do, and he wants to race a few years with his son, Braxton. I think Kevin wants to give a future to Keelan, at least the opportunity. He doesn't want, obviously he's not making, he's just giving it to him, because look what he's doing. He's shipping him off to Europe to learn. And he's shipping him here to learn. So it's kind of like Larson's kid, Boyer's kid, and the kid nobody talks about, Jeff Gordon's kid, Leo. No one talks about him because Jeff wants it that way. But he's
very quietly grooming him.
Yes. It's kind of like nobody really knew about Chase Elliott either until he was 14 or 15 when he was racing in Canada. So obviously they're putting them in the spotlight with, everything. So it's going to be interesting. He wants to give Kevin, he's not going to give it to him. He wants to give him the opportunity when he earns it, so he'll have a spot. But if not, Kevin Harvick, he knows what to do. He's owned a team before.
My point is this makes a lot of sense.
And it might also, I don't want to say invigorate, but redo the foundation of that organization and get better drivers. Right now, your best driver is Kevin Harvick, and he ain't doing really much. He's getting older, but don't get me wrong, he's still good. But you got Eric Amarella, he ain't doing shit. You got Cole Custer, who ain't doing shit. You got Briscoe getting by the skin of his ass. I don't even know how he got this far.
And you got the fit that Kevin threw when they didn't go harder after Kyle Busch. He wanted Kyle Busch in Stewart-Haas Racing.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He was not happy about that, and he was vocal about it.
And if he has to say, it'll be, like I said, this could, obviously Kevin Harvick's not going to have to start new, but he's going to have a much bigger say, and make that organization good. And if you want to, who you want to drive for, Petty GMS or Kevin Harvick, it'd be Kevin Harvick.
I put a lot of stock, and again, at this point, I won't give it much more of a rating than
A 2.
say a rumor.
Oh yeah, 2 out of 10 scale.
Yeah, but it's popping up, it's bubbling up, and it just makes sense with, like I said, with everything that's, I guess, not going on with Tony Stewart, plus what's going on. And if you think about it, when was the last time you saw Tony Stewart at the track? You saw him on the Fox broadcast.
I saw him earlier in the year before all the bullshit started happening with fines, because he was helping looking at tires and this and that. But after that, stuff has happened, obviously, and he's like you said, his wife, the NHRA team that he's funding, now he's doing that.
Yeah. I just like I said, there's several stories that I kind of married together and then started thinking about things, and like you said, I agree with you. Obviously, Delaney's going to have a lot to say about this.
Oh, she's going to be I don't want to say
but
she's going to be
I think the problem before was trying to drive a full-time schedule, manage a team, and keep that, that truck team, 2 or 3 trucks going, was just too much.
Well, then you got to remember his family was his marriage was not new, but his marriage was new with kids that were young. Now his kids are all not of age, but enough to where they don't have to keep an eye on him 24/7. Like I said, they sent Keelan off to Europe.
And it would not surprise me, like I said, this all started when the rumors started bubbling that Harvick was going to stop driving after 2023. And wow, I don't know why that keeps doing that. Then these other stories started bubbling up, and it wouldn't surprise me if this scenario plays out, that Harvick would kind of do a Tony Stewart path type thing, where
he could do a Brad Keselowski thing and be, Haas, Stewart, Harvick.
Drive for another year or 2, maybe 3. Help recruit drivers, because let's face it, the next 2 or 3 years, there's a lot of drivers that their contracts are coming up, and if he has the reins of Stewart Haas or Harvick Stewart Haas, I mean, I don't know what they're going to call it.
Stewart Haas Harvick, SHH. HSA Harvick Stewart. Stewart would be number 1, so Stewart.
Well, if
Harvick.
Kevin buys him out, who knows what it'll be, but I just very cognizant of how Tony Stewart did this, bought basically a no-name team, and I'm not saying it's a no-name team, because it was like, Haas CNC, and the guy had more money than brains, and Tony came in and said, here, let me help you with this.
Well, he wanted to be in NASCAR, but I know you don't watch F1, but he also owns an F1 team, Haas. So
yep.
And that is expensive. 2 F1 teams, funding all of that, and how much they travel. Have you seen their pit boxes and their pits? It's not a damn. It's not a damn semi. It's a damn building that they get on top of everything. So NASCAR is not his biggest spender. It's probably just a hobby for him, to be honest.
Well, I wish I could have just a hobby like that. All right, quick hit on fantasy. I finally beat you one time, and that's only because I had Chastain in the garage and you had Hamlin in the garage.
And you only beat me like 2 positions.
7 points. I had a 217. You had a 210. But hey, a win's a win, right? Martinsville up next.
Oh, before we go on to that, I don't know if you follow the Racetrack Revival Facebook page, because all that was all about Wilkesboro. I don't know if there are 2 things. Wilkesboro's under construction. They're adding the safer barrier, and they're adding bigger fencing, obviously, because NASCAR is involved now. And also, they just announced that they are in agreement with Ritchie County Fairgrounds to return racing to the historic Pennsboro Speedway in Pennsboro, West Virginia.
Wilkesboro. Why does that not ring a bell?
Because it's not a NASCAR track. But I looked it up, and it looks like a how do I best, it looks like a paper clip, but like egg or of anything, and it's more of a dirt. I don't think it's pavement. At least from the pictures I looked. But it just looks like a worn out, dirt trail right now, but yeah, apparently they're going there next. Ensboro, West
Well, I
Virginia.
got a little secret that the national media is not talking about. Rockingham, baby.
I've heard rumblings, but they just announced that
they're doing things. It's just not being known right now. I'm telling you, Rockingham's next to come online. Now these other ones that you're talking about, that Pennsboro or whatever, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so I had to look it up, and what I've seen, it's a late model dirt Kyle Larson special type thing. So whenever they get that going, I'm pretty sure Kyle Larson will be involved.
Probably, absolutely.
But apparently they're going there, and I don't think it'd take much to revive that because it's just fucking dirt. Probably just get everything updated and prepped. But yeah, I saw a picture of them grooving out side of North Wilkesboro for the safety barriers. Saw a picture of it.
You said they're also putting in some new stands, some bigger fencing.
Yeah, the fencing.
They're also working on the infrastructure outside the track right now too.
Oh, that place is going to be bigger than a Coca-Cola 600. They're not going to have they're going to have campgrounds for miles. They're not going to have the capacity. They don't understand. Really, they really don't.
That race is going to be the most well-attended,
well-received,
rated.
Regardless of the racing's trash or not, it doesn't matter.
That is going to be the biggest. I don't care. It's going to be bigger than the Daytona 500. It's going to make them kick the Coliseum to the curb. It's going to make the Coke 600 look like crap. That race, that all-star race at North Wilkesboro, I'm hoping will be the attention getter that the powers that be at NASCAR need to shake their dumb asses up and stop this progressive woke catering to people that don't care. Now, I know there was reasons for leaving Wilkesboro. They say it was attendance. I know the facility was going down. But I promise you, prediction here, if North Wilkesboro All-Star Race next, May sometime?
Yeah, June, July. I have to look.
Anyway, sometime in early summer. If it's as big as what I think it's going to be, and again,
end of May at least that's what this year's was. Oh, they 23 schedule. Look,
that's going to accelerate this Rockingham project. There's going to be a few others that come back online because this is good. Like you said, this is going to be huge.
May 21st.
Okay. 1 week before the Coke 600 at Charlotte. But again, I have the benefit because of my location of local media and regional media. And I kind of don't understand why some folks in national NASCAR media, and I'm talking specifically about those on Sirius XM, because those idiots are all based out of the Charlotte area anyway. This is huge. This is absolutely freaking huge. And I just think it's going to rocket a lot of changes in NASCAR by doing this.
The reason I think they're got to redo the Pennsboro, there's a creek running through the damn center of it. on
Watch the race.
on both corners of the creek. I'm assuming they got to rebuild the bridges because it goes over it. The area they just show it though, so that'd be interesting. Crashing into the creek.
What's that called?
Pennsboro Speedway.
Penn?
Yes. Boro. I just looked up Google Images and I clicked on one of the images and there's a creek right through the middle of the damn track.
All right, I got Pennsboro Speedway. You ain't shitting, Chris. there is a damn.
That's a big creek too.
But it'll run. It's got a fork in the middle of the track. It goes two ways. You're not kidding.
There's another picture of the bridge. Well, is that? Yeah, there is a picture now. Yeah, that
it's
is.
Called...
There is a picture of the bridges, and there's rickety bridges, and they're based on that. That's crazy.
Hold it. Wait a minute. I got something.
Yeah, it's literally that's actually unique, but I can see that being obviously hazard. But I don't expect them to be going very fast, especially on dirt. Yeah, those definitely.
Bringing it up. I gotta look at this.
Definitely.
Well, it doesn't show water in it. It shows dry.
There's a picture I seen. It is dry-ish. It just seems really shallow. It probably when it rains or something, there's more water going through. It's just more like a run.
They got a mini track in the middle.
Yeah, it looks like a go-kart too. I seen.
But that is shaped a lot like Martinsville.
That's what I'm saying. It looks like a paper clip.
Yeah. But it does. It's got a damn creek going right through the middle of it. Well, they can fill that in, reroute it.
I don't know if they want to do that. Maybe that's part of the part of it. But that's what they're apparently the Racetrack Revival group. That's where they're going next. And like I said, I don't think that'd take that long. Besides, at the bridges, they'd have to rebuild, obviously.
It looks dirt.
It is dirt
with wood bridges over.
Like I said, the bridges probably have to be torn down, rebuilt. Not wood. They can't be wood.
Seeing some other images. Now wait, I've got an image here that's showing late models on pavement.
Every single picture I see it may look pavement, but it's probably just clay.
You might be right. All right, I'm going with the Google Street View now.
Yeah, it's probably just clay and dirt, late model. There's a cool old picture. Wow, that's a.
I'm seeing it now. It is clay. I've got Google Street on right now.
There's a picture from 2018 that posted on Twitter. It says some late 70s and 80s, and it looks like it. And it shows there's a whole infield with trailers and all kinds of stuff. I can send it to you somehow.
I already saw it. I seen it where people are grilling and everything.
Yeah, it's pretty cool looking. But yeah, it's pretty sure that was quite the spectacle because there's a highway on the right above it, the guardrails, they got fencing. I just want to see the pictures over the creek. I can see the creek running through the center. Obviously there's nobody parked there, but that's actually pretty cool.
Well, I'm telling you, if Wilkesboro is as big as what I think it's going to be, this could spark a new chapter.
All these older tracks are definitely.
Yeah. Get away from the fucking Coliseum. I can't wait for February to watch the biggest flop in the world, which will be the Coliseum.
Oh, they're gonna do everything they can to make it big. They're gonna have concerts. They're gonna have they're gonna make it a spectacle, not just a race. They're gonna do the whole bullshit again.
It's gonna flop. The TV ratings are gonna be horrible compared to last year. Last year it was new. It was big and shiny and fresh, and you watch this year. You compare numbers to this coming. It is gonna be the biggest embarrassment they've ever done, and it will be. This 2023 will be the last year that they do this.
Yeah, it's a lot of money just to do that. All that money could definitely go into reviving.
Oh, that was my argument from the beginning. All the money that they spent to go out there and do that and put it in and then tear it out and put the football field back in. They could have easily done North Wilkesboro and Rockingham. Put them both back together. Along with Bowman Gray Stadium and a few others. We'll get to that when we get to that. I'm just saying, it irritates me to no end. All right, my man. Martinsville is up next. Let me see. Do I have just for shits and giggles? I didn't pull this up yet because I had a few other things. I wanna give you drop some knowledge on you before we do some picking.
Iron Blaney's good there, huh?
Let me see what I come up with here.
Boy's good. Martin's good. Brown's good. Chase is better than that. His average.
Like I said, he's coming. I'm not sold on this.
He has 760 laps led. Out of everybody there, he has the most. Closest person is Martin Truex at 754. Other than that, it's Brad was 454, Ryan Blaney 232, Joey 273, Denny Hamlin 451. Other than that, there's nobody.
How many times? Hang on here.
A driver. I don't know. I just pulled up a Martinsville stats, and it just pulled up something. It says a driver's rating. I don't know what that means.
Chase Elliott's only won here one time.
Yeah, because Denny Hamlin kept booting his ass every time. It's his rookie year, and he was driving the Hooters 24 car. Denny punted his ass. It's Denny's little bitch. Even though he's had some pretty good interviews lately, but still a wine baby.
The only active drivers that have wins at this track are William Byron, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott. And this is in the last 10 races, so basically the last 5 to 6 years, because you got to factor in the COVID crap. Logano, Elliott, Bowman, and Keselowski, they all have one. Martin Truex has 3. Top 10s. Come on, filter.
Kyle's really not.
I'm telling you. Byron and Hamlin have 5 top 10s. Kurt Busch, you can take him out of the mix. Harvick has 6. Elliott and Blaney have 7. Kyle Busch, Keselowski, Joey Logano, Martin Truex all have 8 top 10s in the last 10 races. So I don't understand why Chase Elliott is the hands down odds.
Because it's always leading to the very end, and when it comes to restarts, because you know who Martinsville is, it's always going to be restart. He always gets the shaft.
Trying to filter something here to show me something good with Chase Elliott, and I can't.
Average start 5, 700 laps, top 26, top 5s 10, top 10s 5, top 5s 4, 1 win. Worst finish 36, but his driver rating's the best of anybody. he's just always there, but he always has bad luck at the end of finishing or closing it out.
Average finish, Truex at 6.8, Blaney at 7.0, Kyle at 7, Kyle Busch, Logano and Keselowski at 8.3, Harvick at 10. Take Kurt off. Cindric. Wow, he's only had one race there, 11th. And Chase Elliott, 10 races. Let's give the stats. 1 win, 4 top 5s, 7 top 10s, 1 pole. As you said, 883 laps led.
Yeah, mine's starting from February 2019, so you're back.
It does. Average start is 7.9. Average finish is 11.5.
He just leads a lot. He's always there. He just can't finish. He
really can't close the deal. That's why I can't understand. You're looking at some kind of power rankings. I'm looking at raw data.
It says this is driversaverages.com. It was the first thing I clicked, and it says an average rating, and his is the highest. I'm trying to understand what does that mean. I can't.
He can't finish the deal. I'll tell you, someone else. This might be Ryan Blaney's weekend.
Yeah, like I said, Ryan Blaney is really
6 top 5, 7 top 10s. He's led like 1/3 of what
Chase has.
Chase Elliott at 377. Average start is 7.1. Average finish is 7.0. He's been running at the finish of every race. Chase Elliott is 8 out of the last 10 finishing. Elliott's had here's a good one for you. The last 10 races, Chase Elliott has 372 points. Kyle Busch Logano. Let's go one more. Keselowski, the last 10 races, 378. Logano, 390. Kyle Busch, 378. Ryan Blaney, 408. Martin Truex, 419. Now, why is Chase Elliott the golden boy here? I don't see it in the numbers. I love Chase Elliott, don't get me wrong. But I don't see it.
Because ever since 2018, 9th and 7th and 2nd, then he finished last in 2019. 5th and 1st and 2nd, 16th. He's always top 10. He gets shoved. But
he doesn't have the points. He doesn't have the finishes. All right, whatever.
But like I said, Martin Truex is better. 2nd, 4th, 3, 8, 1, 1, then 22nd, 1st, 4th, and 22nd.
Blaney's better. Overall numbers, Blaney's better. Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Keselowski, Harvick.
Too.
I know.
I just think they have to be looking at laps led. He's always up front, I guess is the
That's the only category he leads is laps led. That's it. Nothing else.
It has to be because he's always up front leading, but never win finishes.
Well, and again, I'm not knocking the guy. I'm just laying the facts out there.
Yeah.
So, all right. Who's your winner?
After seeing this, I was going to say Chase, but now I'm going to say Blaney now. Shit. I don't know. Martin Truex, he's been pretty hot lately, but I'm going to say Blaney. I'm going to say Blaney is my actual guy. Martin Truex is my dark horse. He's not in it. There you go.
All right. Well, Truex is my dark horse as well because he's not in it. Ross Chastain punches his ticket.
I can see Brad doing it too. Keselowski, he's finally getting in their stride too.
Yeah, but it doesn't do anything other than.
But it's one of the tracks he's good at. He's on a stride, and he needs to win a race this year to keep his win streak going. Hell, he got a couple races to go. He has to get a win. Unless he gives it up.
I'm just saying. I think Chastain, he is on a roll. As long as nobody messes with him, And just to remind folks, you and I have both. We've got Elliott, Logano, Blaney, and Chastain for the final four. I still, I'm pretty solid in that because I wouldn't. What is Blaney? Where are you at, boy?
He's only 5 out. Byron, no.
It's more than that. It's like 11,
18.
right?
He's 18 out.
No, he's 5.
Oh, 18.
No, you're right. He's 18. Hamlin's 5.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So if he wins, well, anybody can get swapped. It's so close. But Blaney wins, that pretty much knocks Byron out unless Chase have a bad day. But
Logano is locked in with his win.
we have 2 races left. That's it, right?
1. We got Martinsville, and then we go to Phoenix.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's 2 races left of the year. Holy shit!
No, next week we have our final 4. So,
wow,
I feel pretty good about our choices. Byron keeps throwing a wrench in everything every week. I'm impressed, but I'm irritated. He needed to go out in round 1 when we said he was going to go out, so our lives would have been easier. But
I said going out round 2. My original one.
Said, yeah, I think I said he was going out round 1. I'm not.
I had my original one. I was pretty.
No, I said Bowman.
Yeah, I had Bowman, Cedric, Briscoe, and Dillon.
Yeah. I had Briscoe, Suarez, Bowman, and Dillon.
Yeah, if Briscoe wins this round, man, he's saving his ass so hard if he wins. I can't believe he's made it this far.
I think you can pretty much go to the bank with Christopher Bell and Chase. Christopher Bell can pull one out. I mean, there's not.
They're all there for a reason.
Chase, yeah, Chase Briscoe is the only one I'm saying I'd bet the farm on that is not going. The rest of them, I wouldn't bet on anything. Every single one of those guys. I still say Denny Hamlin's going to shoot his own self in the foot. He's going to lose his temper. And ain't nobody going to put up with this crap now. Why? It's for a shot to go to Phoenix and contend. And Chastain already proved he can duck, dodge, and hide pretty good. So, all right. I got nothing else. And unless you got something, I'm ready to put a bow ribbon on this thing.
I think that's it. I kind of looked around. There's really.
Righty then. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning back in. Like I said, we took a week off. We had some family time. It was really cool. And it was a last minute decision, so like I said, we missed last week, but it may have been one of the weeks we should never.
We planned on it, but it's just timing didn't work.
Timing did not work. So we're back, and we'll just carry on. And again, thanks to everybody. We're getting a few new people almost every week. So tell anybody like-minded to at least give us a shot. We're not begging anybody to do anything, but at least try it out. And if you like it, stick with us.
You done?
I'm done.
All right. See you later.